And we're back. This is like 3 seconds after. Checking if I'm still recording because I'm paranoid.
No matter what happens, we will find out who you really are. I stake my family name on it.
Thanks.
I have officially decided to completely ignore all such attempts at provocation. Now then, just so nobody's confused, let me state this one more time for the record. The reason we're having a class trial is because a murder among the students has taken place. Hammer that point straight into your big ol' brains!
What you're saying is that both the victim and the culprit are part of the student body?
Then, one of us killed Mukuro?
Wait, no! There's a chance that there's some mystery 17th person who's been hiding all along!
Nope.
Oh.
There are only 16 students in total that have been taking part in these events.
I wouldn't say the 16th student was taking part in it, but whatever.
Seriously? Then one of us killed Mukuro?
Who did it? Who's the killer this time?
Get a hold of yourself. We've already narrowed down the list of possible suspects.
Huh?
I'm sure you realize who I'm talking about, right, Makoto? Who the evidence points to?
So we know there can be two things.
I got it! You've narrowed it down to Kyoko and me, right?
Why do you say that?
Allow me to explain. Just after nighttime last night, I went to the garden, so I can confirm that at that point, there was no dead body there. So, the murder must have taken place after I left the... However, Hiro, Toko, Hina, and I were in the gym the entire time.
The gym?
That's right. The four of us were there trying to dismantle Monokuma.
What do you have to say about that, man?
The whole time, we were very careful not to go anywhere alone. We even went to the bathroom in pairs. All of which is to say, the four of us all have alibis. The only ones without alibis
Are me and Makoto. That's why you're able to narrow down the list of suspects.
exactly so.
The only suspects now are me and Koiko. Damn it, I can't let this stand. Somehow I have to clear my name.
I have something I'd like to say regarding the whole alibi thing.
Are you thinking of raising an objection?
Well, before that, I just want to try and get a better idea of what time the murder took place. Doing that might reveal some kind of clue.
Whatever you want. Somebody go ahead and help him out.
Me and Byakuya can both confirm that the body wasn't in the garden at, well, it was after nighttime for sure. I'd say it must have been around 10 o'clock.
We know the body was there for like 7.
So the murder must have happened after 10 p.m.
So yeah, that checks out.
Then I guess we can say the time frame for the murder was between then and when we found the body? Oh, but what time did we find the body?
The one who saw the body first was Toko, right? And she went to go get the pickaxe.
At 9 o'clock.
I got it! The body must have been discovered at 9 a.m., since that's when Toko went to get the pickaxe.
Yeah.
He's right. It had to be around then.
So we can be totally sure the murder happened sometime between 10 at night and 9 in the morning.
For me, I was already asleep before nighttime hit, so I don't have an alibi after 10 o'clock.
I just noticed your jacket looks pretty cool.
But I'm sure I met up with everyone else before 9 this morning.
We ran into each other in the dining hall, right? That was around... Oh yeah! Right around 7:30. I remember checking right before I went in, so I'm totally sure about it.
Which means from 10 p.m. to 7:30 a.m., you don't have an alibi.
It's gonna happen between 7 p.m. and 9 a.m. I don't have an alibi for 10 p.m. till 7:30 a.m. Okay? If I can provide an alibi for that period, then I just have to prove the murder didn't happen during that time. Yeah, during the time I don't have an alibi. To do that, I have to make it clear when the body ended up in the garden. I'll probably tell them about the sprinklers, I'm not gonna lie. Sprinklers!
We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Dude, what about 2 o'clock?
Makoto doesn't have an alibi for most of that time.
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
Sprinklers! I just yeet sprinklers or whatever I see. There's only so many things I can throw it at.
Place somewhere between 9 o'clock. Yep. And
Yeah, from to 7:30.
That's more than enough time to commit. So Makoto, if you have
any objections, now would be the time.
Oh, I failed to be what he said.
We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yep.
And Makoto doesn't have an alibi for
Yeah, from 10 to 7:30.
That's more than enough time to commit murder.
I should. So Makoto, if you have any objections,
What do you
now
have to
would
say?
be the time.
Okay. Yeah, so it must have happened after that.
We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night.
There we go. I should have just done that.
Actually, the murder couldn't have happened anywhere near 10 o'clock. It had to have taken place way later.
And what makes you say that?
Because of the sprinklers in the garden. The sprinklers are set to go off right at 7:30 every morning, right? So if the body had been in the garden before 7:30, then it should have been completely soaked.
Oh, hold on. I remember this part perfectly. The body was wet. Dripping wet, in fact.
Sorry, Toko, but you're wrong.
I'm wrong? How? Are you saying only the mouth down south was wet? How dare you spew such indecent words?
No, I'm saying that the body was wet, but not because of the sprinklers.
What do you mean by denying the sprinkler? Are you trying to deny my entire existence?
While I would love to do that, no.
Man, you're totally wacko.
If you really think it wasn't the sprinkler, you'd better tell us why!
I need to prove it wasn't the sprinklers that got the body wet. All I have to do is to hit Toko with certain evidence, and that should do it. Look at the body itself, let's make it clear. Oh, we have to do that stupid... Ah.
I admit nothing. I hate you. No, no, no! I don't know anything! Hold on! Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. I hate you. No, no, no! I don't know anything! Hold on! Are you trying to blame me?
I would love to, but no.
Nothing. Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. No, no, no! I don't know anything! Hold on! Are you trying to blame me?
Thank you.
How can you say it wasn't the...
This should prove it.
I'm gonna let you finish that sentence.
Just remember what the body was like after the explosion, and you'll see why it wasn't the sprinklers. The top half of the body was wet, yes, but the bottom half was completely dry. If the sprinklers got the body wet, shouldn't the whole body have been wet?
So they only got the top wet? The bottom was completely dry? What a brutal maniac!
Yes, the sprinklers really have it out.
I'm so sick of her.
Let's just
For people.
move on.
If that's an innuendo, I don't know.
The reason only the top half was wet was because
Fire.
while the body was still on fire, I doused it with water. But only the part on fire, the top half.
Oh, then I guess the sprinklers really didn't do it.
So if the sprinklers didn't get the body wet, then the murder must have taken place sometime after the sprinklers turned on at 7:30 in the morning.
Which means she must have been killed sometime between then and when the body was discovered at 9.
But Makoto's alibi was only missing from 10 o'clock last night to 7:30 this morning, right?
Eh.
So there's no way Makoto could have done it. I guess you had an alibi after all. Good for you.
In which case, the only one left without an alibi is Kyoko.
Koiko's the only one who had an alibi. Kyoko, not Koiko. Which means Monaco's killer is... No, I refuse to believe it. Koiko murdered someone that's...
I'd just like to say one thing. If you vote for me and I die here, the mystery of this school will stay hidden forever.
And you'll probably die too.
Which is why I can't let that happen.
I mean, you could have spoke up before.
So are you saying you're not the culprit?
Of course I'm not. I have no reason to kill anyone. This is a trap the mastermind has laid for us.
A trap?
We're this far into the game and now you decide to blame me? Stop wasting time! Stop wasting energy! You really think your little trick is gonna work?
Shut up, you!
You got it, boss! Shutting up now!
Anyway, Kyoko, you actually did have a reason to kill her.
Ah, that still works good.
Huh? She did?
She thought Mukuro was the ultimate despair. In other words, the mastermind behind everything.
Hehe.
So she killed her to try and put a stop to all this. Isn't that right, Kyoko? But you made one catastrophic mistake. Mukuro wasn't the mastermind at all. And as a result, we were forced into another trial, something I'm sure you weren't at all expecting.
So, that was her motive?
If she had a motive and no alibi, well then, I think it's pretty clear Kyoko's gotta be the culprit.
I'm not the only one without an alibi. Makoto's explanation is still
God
insufficient.
damn it, stop trying to get me killed.
Huh?
The sprinklers didn't get the body wet, but that doesn't mean the murder happened when he said it did.
What are you...
Because you see, there is a way the body could have avoided getting wet.
Ah, the top.
Interesting. I'm listening.
All it would take is covering the body with a certain something to keep it from getting wet.
Said something to me. Yeah, let's bring it out. Stupid.
I got it! You're talking about the tarp, aren't you?
You catch on quick. You're right. All you'd have to do is cover the body with the tarp, and that'd take care of the water. In fact, that's exactly what the killer did.
The killer, which is me,
The
apparently.
dirt pattern on the tarp can attest to that.
And you know about the dirt pattern.
Only one side of the tarp got dirty, because that's the side that got covered in water. The side that faced down over the body, meanwhile, kept perfectly clean.
There's no blood stain.
This proves that the killer used the tarp to keep the body from getting soaked.
But why would they go to all that effort just to keep the body from getting wet?
An alibi?
Most likely so they could cloud the issue of when the murder actually took place.
God damn it.
In other words, to create an excuse exactly like the one Makoto just gave us.
Huh. Why'd Koiko say that? Why'd you want to make me look like the killer, unless I actually am? No, I can't think about that right now. The top. It was used the way Koiko said. How it must have touched the body, right? The body.
Wait. Something's not right.
And what might that be?
I can't worry about Koiko's motivations. If I don't do something, everyone's gonna think I'm the killer. I have to refute what Koiko said. Via blood, which is body before the explosion.
By covering the body with the tarp, the killer prevented it from getting wet.
So the reason the tarp was only dirty on one side is because the sprinkler got that side wet.
But the underside of the tarp, it was totally spotless, right?
It's because that side was protected from the water. Since it was facing down
Okay.
toward the... Of course it didn't get dirty!
Stupid.
No, that's wrong.
Blood exists.
Actually, one side being clean is pretty strange if you think about it. Because the blood wasn't dry before the body got blown up, right? Yakuya said it himself. Not to touch it, or you might get some on you. If you put a tarp on a body in that state, it absolutely would have gotten blood on it.
Oh, that tape with the blood.
Well, maybe the culprit washed it, so nobody would know they'd used it.
And the other
If
side.
they had, they would have washed both sides. Just washing the one side wouldn't hide anything.
Oh, yeah, true.
More than that, what if the very blood we saw on the body was meant as a kind of camouflage?
God damn. That get me killed. The blood was camouflage?
What if, after the killer used the tarp to avoid the sprinklers, they then covered the body in blood that didn't belong to the victim?
Chicken!
You mean someone else's blood? Where would they get something like that?
I know! They could have grabbed some of the blood packs from the nurse's office. That's what Hifumi did, right? When he pretended to be dead?
No, that's not what happened this time. The killer got the blood from right there in the garden.
Blood from... Chicken!
I got it! Could it have been chicken blood?
What? Chicken blood?
From the chickens.
When I checked the chicken coop before the murder, there were 5 chickens. But after the murder, there were only 4.
So, you're saying someone killed a chicken and then covered the body with its blood? Man, that's messed up.
Killing a living thing just to do something like that is awful. They should have at least eaten
Of
it.
course.
I wonder if the killer had to get the blood from the scene so they wouldn't be spotted walking around. Anyway, there's no denying that a chicken went missing, which provides a basis for my theory.
Perhaps, but even so, there's one thing that still doesn't make sense. You said the culprit used the tarp to avoid the water and then covered the body in blood, right? But if that's the case, then the blood should have soaked into the ground around the body. But that's not what we saw. Only the victim's clothing had blood on it. The ground was completely clean.
I have to agree, that certainly is strange. Maybe they didn't apply the blood at the scene. Maybe they covered the coat in blood beforehand.
They covered it beforehand?
When you discovered the body, was it wearing the coat like you normally would?
Don't tell me the... What's-her-face took one of the existing dead bodies.
I think so. Wait, no. The head was through the neck hole, but the arms weren't in the sleeves.
Then that settles it.
Sorry, I'm having a tough time keeping up. What settles what?
Here's what happened. The murder took place before the sprinklers went off.
Let me check. Okay, 18 minutes.
But the body didn't get wet because the killer covered it with the tarp. Then, later, at the same time the killer was gathering up the tarp, they pulled the coat over the body. The coat they'd already covered in blood.
Yeah.
This series of cover-ups was meant to disguise the actual time the murder occurred. They wanted us to think the murder happened sometime after the sprinklers had gone
Screenshot.
off.
If that's actually what took place, it certainly becomes possible that the murder happened earlier.
But to pull all that off, wouldn't they have had to go back to the garden after the sprinklers turned off?
That
Oh.
actually wouldn't have been all that difficult.
Huh?
They already had the coat ready, so they just had to grab the tarp and pull the coat over the body. They'd be done in no time.
Maybe. But still.
Hina, after you met up with Makoto in the dining hall, did you two stay together from that point on?
Oh no. I headed off to the gym, and Makoto didn't show up till
Why are
later.
you trying to get me killed?
Then he had plenty of time to spare, wouldn't you say?
That's not...
Don't bother saying it's not possible.
I must admit, Kyoko's reasoning is sound. Makoto's alibi is inadequate.
Yeah, her alibi is perfectly solid, I guess. The suspicion falls back on me again. But why? Why is Koiko trying to entrap me? I don't understand. Looks like I did actually do it. Disguised dead bodies, but answer truthful, section of your handbook.
Well then, it looks like we're back to square one. Makoto's alibi is no good, so once again, our suspects are him and Kyoko.
For serious, man? Which one of them did it? Hey, why don't we let luck decide? Let's flip a coin. 50-50 odds.
Yeah.
Oh,
See? Pretty good idea, right?
no, not that. I just remembered something super serious.
Thank you.
Well, don't just stand there. Out with it.
You know that knife we found all black and burnt?
This is not gonna help.
The one we found stuck in the body before it exploded, right? According to the Monokuma file, the knife went all the way through, from front to back.
This is gonna hurt my reputation.
So, what about it?
I'm pretty sure I'd seen that knife somewhere before. That's what I thought when I first saw it. I just remembered.
Yeah. Oh. Listen, more important. Now we have the knife. What are we gonna do with it? Can't let Toko keep it, that's for sure. We don't know what she might do. I don't want it anyway. So what to do? Why don't you hang on to it, Makoto? Me?
It's the knife we gave to Makoto?
Ew.
You don't seem surprised. You must have noticed earlier.
Yeah.
Then why did you hide that fact?
Honestly, yeah, that's my reaction too. Why did he just not say it?
It's not that I hid it. It's...
I couldn't be sure what actually happened last night. Thought maybe I really did kill her.
Suspicious. Very suspicious indeed.
I helped you get out of you.
The
Fine.
knife we found stuck in the body came from Makoto. Now I'm totally convinced he did it. 12,000% convinced.
Considering anything up till now, I should be able to make it clear. I have to prove I didn't murder anyone. I'm not the killer. So, disgusted body.
The knife we found lodged in the dead body.
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
It really is, isn't it? I was afraid of that.
If he did have that knife before, then that seals it. Makoto did it.
Just because I had the knife once, that automatically makes me...
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her, right? So there's no question. You took that knife of yours and killed her with it.
Stab.
What a horrible man you are, Makoto.
You're not one to talk. You are not one to talk about killing people.
The knife we found lodged in the...
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
It really is, isn't it? I was afraid of that.
If he did have that knife before, that seals it.
Look, just because I had the... That automatically...
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her. So there's no question. You took that knife of yours and killed her with it.
What a horrible man you are, Makoto.
Thanks. Knife was thrust through the coat into the body.
The knife we found lodged in the dead body.
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
It really is, isn't it? I was afraid of that.
If he did have that knife before, then that seals it. Makoto did it.
Just because I had the knife once, that automatically makes me...
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her, right? So there's no question.
Missed.
You took that knife of yours and...
What a horrible man you are.
Yeah.
The knife we found lodged...
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
It really is, isn't it? I was
If he did have that seals it. Just because I had that automatic...
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her. So there's no question.
Oh my god.
You took that knife...
What a horrible man you are, Makoto.
I have a habit of
The
missing.
knife we found...
Oh, yeah.
It really is, isn't it?
If he did have that seals it. Just because I had that automatically...
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her.
Okay.
Right?
Shoot!
The knife we found lodged in the dead body.
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
It really is, isn't it? I was afraid of that.
If he did have that seals it. Look, just because I had the knife, that automatically...
Well, getting stabbed is what
It
killed her.
disguised, you stupid fuck.
Wait, hold on. The stab wound isn't what killed Mukuro. That should be clear from the description of the cover-up we just heard.
I wonder. How long has this gone on? 25 minutes. Okay, we should end this one here. Mainly because I need to go to sleep. I haven't slept today yet, and it's like 4. So, night, and see you later.